Admiral Jack's here. Thanks very much for joining us.
No, nice to be here, Jake.
Yeah, it's awesome place, and it must be a pretty inspiring work environment.
When you come up here and you come to the naval base, then all the troubles go away. I get to see sailors, I get to see our ships, and it's, as you know, Auckland's a nice place on a day like this.
Absolutely. Well, Oompher's all about inspiring people to achieve extraordinary things. So who and what during your life and career within the Defence Force inspired you?
I think it's the opportunity to work with people and to see them realise their dreams and do amazing things. So every day or every week, someone does something that's just incredible. And so what inspires me is what our young men and women can achieve on a regular basis. They're just incredible. That's the buzz I get out of working in the Defence Force.
Okay, so the young people coming in who all have aspirations and places they want to be within the Defence Force, and you get to see them progress and work through it.
Yeah, and that's our job. Our job is to let them achieve their dreams. Give them the opportunity and say, here you go, you can be whatever you want to be. There's no barriers, it's up to them, and we provide them with the opportunity. And when you see them grow, that's from young, innocent people who don't know left from right into competent sailors and officers. That's the good thing about our Navy.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you arrived in the Navy back in January 3rd, 1973, about 42 years ago. So tell me about your story. Where did it all begin back in 73?
73 at the training base at HMNZS Tamaki. We all walked in, they cut our hair off, and they stuck us in with 20 other people, and our lives changed forever. And I signed on for 12 years, and I'm still here 42 and a half years later. Yep. So it's been a wild ride. It's been pretty good.
Okay, I guess you must love it if you've stayed all that time. I mean, what's some of the main highlights of the job for you?
The friends I've made, places I've been. You do actually see the world. You meet incredible people. You work with amazing people. The highlight was being captain of a ship that went to the Arabian Gulf when I took the HMNZS Wellington up there. That was as closest to a warlike situation we've been in. That was pretty interesting. Every day is a highlight for me, really. Today, talking to you, because I got to come on board Canterbury, so this is a buzz for me as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a young officer right back at the beginning, I mean, what are some of those memories that stick out for you the most about first coming into the Navy and working out exactly what it was all about?
Sort of a bit of excitement, but a bit of fear as well. And then when I first went to sea, I thought I knew I'd made the right decision. So then the big buzz is getting to stand a watch on a bridge all by yourself, and the captain goes to sleep. And you're in charge of the ship, steaming through the night with 250 people fast asleep. It is just an incredible experience, and it just grows from then on. Every day you learn something, or you get challenged and you overcome the challenge, and it just gets better and better.
And I guess it's the type of role where you're doing something meaningful as well, isn't it? It's always about helping people and helping countries and so on, so it must be pretty rewarding.
Oh yeah. You know, the Navy is here for a reason. With our colleagues in the Air Force and the Army, we're here to provide for the security of you and other New Zealanders, and for the world. So we have a real reason for doing the work we do. We also provide great opportunities for other young men and women who join the services. It's a great job.
Okay. And within your career in the Navy, I mean, you've obviously been involved with so many different careers, such as Weapons Control Officer, Operations Officer, Deputy Director of Underwater Warfare, Executive Officer, Commanding Officer, Fleet Operations Officer, Chief of Staff at Headquarters, Joint Forces New Zealand, Maritime Component Commander, Deputy Chief of Navy, Commander, Joint Forces New Zealand, Vice Chief of Defence Force, and of course the Chief of Navy. So when looking back over that incredible career of so many different ranks and roles for you, I mean, what's been the most rewarding and why?
I guess I have to pinch myself when I look back, when people stand there and tell me what I've done. You sort of go, wow, it's like a novel. I never thought it would end up like this. Being captain of a ship, and I've been commanding officer, captain of 2 ships, a patrol boat and a frigate. That's what I really joined for. That's what I wanted to get to, and I've done that, so that was amazing. And then the other jobs, when you know, as Commander Joint Forces New Zealand, I got to work with the Army and the Air Force as well as the Navy, and run our operations for the New Zealand Defence Force. That was a new step. And then Vice Chief of the Defence Force. I learned a lot, you know, because that's the interaction between the Defence Force and the government and other government agencies. And then now I've got the best job of all. I'm the Chief of the Navy, and I love the Navy, I love the people in the Navy, and finally I've got to lead them, so I'm a pretty lucky man.
Yeah, and tell me about your role today.
It's great, it's fantastic. I get to lead 2,000 men and women who and just show them the way, provide the opportunity for them, and every day I'm just so proud of every one of them. So coming here today, I get to come on board a ship, see some sailors, talk to you, and this is a great way to start my day.
Yeah, absolutely. And we touched on this briefly before, but at one point you were the commanding officer of the Her Majesty ship Wellington, and on a mission there successfully contributed to the multinational interception force operations in the Arabian Gulf, enforcing US sanctions against Iraq. So, I mean, that, as you said, it was an incredible experience and the closest thing to sort of combat and war and so on. So can you tell me a bit more about that and I guess what that taught you about the Defence Force from a perspective you hadn't seen before?
It was a big deal. You know, we had a ship, we were away for 6 months. We went into places we'd never been before. You know, when you're sailing through minefields, active minefields, when you're sending off boarding parties in the night to board ships off the coast of Iraq, you know, it was stressful, but it was exciting, and it's what we're here for. You know, we trained for all those situations. We rescued some people from they were adrift in a boat. We rescued some other people whose fishing boat was sinking. We did all sorts of jobs that we had trained hard for, and we got a great reward from doing it. You know, we found out that it snows up there when you're at sea off Iraq. We all thought it was going to be hot up there. It's, you know, the Arabian Gulf, it's hot. Well, it was rough and it snowed. Okay. We all learned a lot about each other. We learned a lot about what we can do, and we acquitted ourselves pretty well. We only have a small navy, but we can work well with the big navies. We work well with the Americans up there, and so it's very rewarding to see our sailors responding so well to the challenges we put in front of them.
Okay, and what's it like working with some of those international navies? I mean, obviously there's world-class navies in other parts of the world as well. So the New Zealand Navy, when you've worked with those other ones, what do we do differently, or what do they do differently to us, and what makes our Navy special in comparison to other ones?
I'm going to say this all the way through this interview. What makes our Navy special are its people. Yeah. Our people have a great way of engaging with people from other countries. You know, we go there and we ask, how can we help you? We don't tell them what we're going to do. We have a great cultural aspect to our Navy, and our Army and Air Force, by the way, but we're talking about the Navy here. Yeah. So we have a great deal of empathy with people from other nationalities, and that's what our Navy brings to it. We have our trump card is the fact that our people are exceptional, but also the way they relate to the other people around the world. We work very well with other navies.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. And we were just talking about obviously different positions and different roles within the Navy. So is it something the Navy does to try and post or get officers and people within the Navy involved with different ranks and roles? Is that something that you always try and do to keep people engaged?
About every 2 to 3 years we move people into different jobs, and that's part of the attraction. You don't get bored. Yeah. So you might say to me, how did you manage to stay in the Navy for 42 years? Well, I had so many different jobs. Yes. It's like almost they're all in the Navy, but they're just different challenges, different people to work with, and that's what keeps your enthusiasm up. So these moving around with different postings gives you the experience to move up to higher jobs, but also gives you variety and keeps your interest levels up.
Okay, and is ever a downside as such that some people maybe are very good at lots of things, but not the best in the world at some things, if you know what I mean? Is that, or do you see it as it's best to be good at lots of things as opposed to really, really good at one thing? Yeah.
We do have some people who specialise, and they stay with that specialisation. Yeah. Others enjoy the variety, but often they go away from their core trade and they come back to it, and they have new experiences and they're actually better at their core trade.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. And can you just explain to me a little bit more about obviously what the Navy does involves rescuing and diving for rescuing and obviously protecting New Zealanders, as we talked about. But for a young person looking at joining and they say to you what to expect in terms of what we're going to be working on as a whole, what do you say to them?
Well, the Navy, you know, we are the maritime combat capability for New Zealand. But also we do search and rescue, we do humanitarian assistance, we do disaster relief support, we do fisheries protection, we work with Customs and Department of Conservation. We do a whole bunch of things to provide security for our country. And depending on which ship you're on and what tasking it's got, you will do a lot of different roles and perform a number of different tasks. It's not all about shooting guns and doing high-end warfighting training. This ship here, for example, is trained and practices to take the Army places.
Yep.
And get the Army there, support them while they're there, and bring them home. We have a tanker that provides support for our ships when they're at sea, so they can stay at sea longer. Our offshore patrol vessels go down to the ice, and they also go up to the islands and then around the equator. So it's a whole variety of tasks that we do, and that's why it's such an exciting job to be in.
Okay. And so for a young person looking at joining, what's your advice to them?
Just do it. Just do it. Come in with an open mind. Give it your best shot, and 9 times out of 10 you'll love it.
Yep.
There are some who just being in the Navy doesn't suit some because you live close to other people.
Yep.
You sleep in a room, you share rooms and showers and eating facilities with other people. Some people just don't like that. But for the majority of people, the Navy is just a great way of life. Okay.
And are there certain skills you recommend youngsters develop before coming to the Navy?
Yeah, do your schoolwork.
Yeah.
NCA is a good thing.
Yeah.
Get fit, do some exercise, and just come in with an open mind. And chase your dreams.
Yeah.
That's what we allow people to achieve their dreams,
yeah.
and that's what's cool about the Navy.
Okay, so in talking about those dreams, a young person who comes in who has a dream of being CN, as you are, I mean, what would you say to them? What makes the people different who do go right to the top in terms of those ranks?
Bit of good luck and patience? No. What makes a difference? The way to get through and be successful in the Navy and a whole bunch of other careers is to care for your people. It all comes down to our people. The reason we are a successful Navy is we look after our people. So if you want to be a successful leader in our Navy, you have to care for your people, to lead your people, to trust your people, and to look after them. It's all about people. If you can figure that piece out, then you'll be successful.
Okay, so all down to that leadership, really.
Absolutely.
So how does the New Zealand Navy vision, and I guess in your personal values, reflect in your behaviour as CN?
Yeah, our vision, to be the best small nation Navy in the world. That's a bit fluffy. The thing I focus on is our purpose, which is to provide the maritime combat capability for New Zealand, for our Defence Force. Our values are courage, commitment, and comradeship. If you live by those in your Navy job and your own personal life, then you'll be successful in our Navy. We try really hard to be honest and straight, and then you're successful. We're not that different from a whole bunch of other jobs in that respect.
Okay. And how do leaders in the New Zealand Navy nurture young talent and leaders coming through?
Yeah, well, see, we need leadership at all levels. So it's not just the Chief of Navy. We have young, able seamen, 19, 20 years old, even younger, who lead groups of men and women. So we need leadership right throughout the Navy. So we train it at all levels. We send people on specialist courses to teach them leadership, to help them grow as leaders. We educate them. We put them into challenging situations early in their careers as leaders, so they can learn what it's like. So when they get the really big challenges, they can manage them. Leadership is a key component of being a successful sailor or officer in our Navy.
Okay. And do you believe great leaders are born, or do they evolve from experience?
No, I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
Some people don't want to be leaders. Some people are quite happy to follow. Some people have a natural ability, but it's not always the ones you think are going to be good leaders that when the going gets tough turn out to be.
Okay.
People say that the big extrovert might not be the great leader in the time of a crisis. Sometimes it's the quiet, strong people who step up, and that's the cool thing about leadership. You never know.
I was going to say as well, you must see people come in who aren't leaders as such, but they just thrive on what they learn and develop into leaders as well.
Yeah, and that's the biggest buzz about being in the Navy, is seeing that happen. When you see young men and women just develop and grow like flowers opening up in the sun, seriously, that is the great thing about our military careers.
Okay, so do you believe the leadership, I guess training and so on is important no matter age or experience?
Absolutely. You can never stop learning. Okay. We have a leadership development institute in the Defence Force. We do our own training, we send people off to courses, we do it in-house. It's a continual process in developing and training leaders.
Okay, and I guess we've talked about the people leadership, but what would you say is another behaviour that any young leader should aim to demonstrate within the Navy?
Yeah, I thought about this. So leadership is one thing. The other one is empathy for your people.
Okay.
And the other one is to be straight. When you make a mistake, say I've made a mistake. when you get it wrong, say that. Don't try and confuse things by being dishonest. Just be honest and straight, and you'll be successful.
Okay, awesome. And just before we head into our quick fire questions to finish off, as the Chief of Navy, I mean, you've obviously also been the Vice Chief of Defence Force.
Yep.
So how do you feel about the Defence Force in general and the direction it's going? Are you satisfied with how it's all working out?
Yeah, we're in a period of change, and
Yeah.
change is unsettling for people. I wish we weren't, but we have to change and develop the Defence Force to grow it into a more joined-up organisation, and that's fine. We're finding it painful, but then change is a painful process.
Yeah.
We are making progress. We've moved a long way. I think the Defence Force is going in the right direction. There'll be some fine-tuning. We are doing what the government needs us to do. Resources are tight, but that's nothing new. So I'm we're pretty comfortable where we fit in the Defence Force and with what we're doing.
Okay. So just a few quick fire questions to finish. What do you reckon is the most misunderstood thing about the Navy and I guess the Defence Force as a whole?
Oh, the most misunderstood thing is that we can only get people to do things by ordering them to do it.
Okay.
We lead and we guide and we offer opportunities to our people. We don't just give orders all the time. We run our organisation like any other business.
Okay. And what's the biggest mistake you see youngsters making who are coming through the Defence Force or through the Navy?
They come in and they think we're going to do it all for them. What we do is we provide opportunities. It's up to them to grab those opportunities and make their careers what they want.
Okay. And you yourself, as a leader, I mean, what leaders do you respect the most and why?
Colin Powell, he's just an inspirational Army leader and also a leader in his country. So I have a great deal of time for Colin Powell. Actually, John Key, because of the way he relates to our Prime Minister, because of the way he relates to people.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. And just before we finish off, I mean, we've talked a lot about, I guess, leadership and your role as CE and what you do now. What would a day in your life look like? I mean, I presume it's different most days. But...
Yeah. So it starts about 5 in the morning. I get up and do my emails and paperwork.
Yeah.
I get to have breakfast. Obviously, get to work about 8 o'clock. Then I'll have a meeting with my staff, a coordination meeting, then probably a briefing, another couple of meetings, then I'll jump on a plane, fly to Auckland, battle through the traffic, go and host a dinner, and then come back after the dinner and do the emails that I haven't done in the afternoon because we've been travelling, and then 5 o'clock the next morning comes around really quickly. Or I could jump on a ship and go to sea and have a wonderful 2 days at sea, and that's not bad either.
Okay, awesome. So just to finish off, I mean, Rear Admiral Jack Steer, can you please look down at this camera here and tell us, what are your wise words for the people of New Zealand?
My wise words for the people of New Zealand are, just trust our young men and women. We have the most amazing young men and women in the world in New Zealand, and they are fabulous. Give them all the opportunities we can, help them achieve their dreams, and then we'll be an even more successful country.
See you, and thanks so much.
Right, mate. Thanks, Jake.
Really appreciate
Is that all right?